reflexive thoughts. This is the fourth video in the 3-minute psychology series. So if you haven't watched the first 3, please stop and do so first, and then come back to this one. When doing the ABCs of our emotion, it is very common that we can do the A, and if you remember, A is what we're aware of, and C, which is our emotional consequences and how we felt and what we did. But we often struggle with the B. That's our beliefs. Why is that? Okay, for one, it's 1/10 of a second, so our brain's very, very quick. And it can do that 1/10 of a second because it loves its shortcuts. Okay, think about when you were learning to ride a bike as a kid. Now, when you first started riding it, you had to think about it. You had to constantly keep working on it, and you had to be aware of what you were doing, and then eventually you learned. And when you did, the muscle and cognitive memory form, and therefore you never have to think about riding a bicycle again. And it means you don't have to think about it. You just jump on the bike and go. By the time we are old enough to ride a bike, we have already some shortcuts as far as our emotional reactions are concerned. If little Susie takes our toy, are we the kind of kid who reacts with anger, crying, run telling mommy, oh, Susie took my toy? Do we lie when we get in trouble? These sorts of things. So we already have a lot of shortcuts by the time we're that young. So let's look at how this could work for now adults. Let's say that Bob is aware that he crashed his bike into the back of a car on his way to work. Now, C is he felt embarrassed. He grabbed his bike and left in spite of the pain in his leg. Okay, so the question to get to that what was he thinking part is to ask, what am I acting as though I'm thinking? In this case, because he was embarrassed and took off, he was probably thinking something along the lines of, oh, people are going to judge me and see me a fool, and that would be a horrible and terrible thing, and I got to get the heck out of here as quickly as possible. Okay, now your turn. I'll give you an example, and let's see if you can figure out a B. So A, Blake had a fight with his partner about his drinking. C, his consequences, he felt emotionally angry, and what did he do in result? He went to the bar. Okay, B, your turn. What was he acting as though he was thinking? Did you say something like, maybe he was thinking, I'll show her, she thinks I'm a loser, and she's no Miss America herself. Something along those lines, some kind of how dare she type thing. Okay, so when you are doing your own ABCs and you're figuring out A is what I'm aware of, there's this thing, and then you can do the C, you're like, yeah, right now I was angry, and this is what I did, but I don't know what I was thinking. So ask yourself, what is my behavior suggesting I'm thinking?